And Cookie with Rabbi. I want to talk about uncertainty, things you cannot be certain of, things that seem to go bump in the night. I'm talking about uncertainty. Well, yes, I do have faith in God above, but you can call me back later, whoever that is. You're more important than that. So here's the certainty that I'm going to do my program with you. So how do you handle uncertainty? Let me give you a verse, and this is from the book of Matthew, chapter 16. When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" They replied, "Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and some others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets." "But what about you?" he asked. "Who do you say I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus replied, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by man, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Then he warned his disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah, the Christ. What's this got to do with uncertainty? Well, uncertainty is oftentimes the things that come to us in our everyday life or our world around us come in the form of storms, hurricanes, like in Florida. I spoke to my friend Dr. Schiffman this morning, and he says they're safe, and they're on the east side of the state, and they're in a Marriott, which some friends have taken care of for him. And he's got his 3 dogs, but he's absolutely uncertain about his house and what shape it's in or whatever. And that type of uncertainty can really weigh on you. But yet, I found him a little jovial and confident in the Lord. So I'm sure whatever they have to face will be faced well. One of the reasons that I called him this morning to check on him was Roxanne got an article or maybe a picture of a shark swimming down the street. I think that just was a little weird, a little much. So anyway, I had to call and check on him for my own conscience sake. I need to know he was okay. But what about us? We have uncertainties in our life. How do we handle those things? Do we let them upset us? Do we let them direct us, destroy us? Most times it causes us to doubt even in our faith. But here's what it says, and this is why this text is important. You are the Son of God. You are the Messiah. And Yeshua says, upon this, I will build my church. He wasn't talking about Peter, okay, because later on Peter will screw it up, okay? But he's talking about the fact that upon this statement, upon knowing who he is, what he is, and our relationship with him, that's the rock in which we stand on, the unmovable, the unshakable, the unchangeable rock. Though the wind and the rain and all that, they come, the rock doesn't shift. And those who are on the rock are in the place of safety. But how do I get there? How do I get in my faith to the place where I can depend on the rock? I think it starts off, excuse me, and I do this every now and then. It starts off with me personally counting my blessings. That might seem a little hokey. That song, count your blessings, don't name them one by one, count your blessings. It works. If I look at God's track record I have confidence in the future. By the way, cookie immersion, kind of like a cookie baptism. But think about it. He's never failed. He's never faltered. He's guided me through everything. And even when I wasn't sure he was there, he was there. You know what I mean? Uncertainty is something I experience in my flesh, but not in my spirit. Why? Because I counted the blessings one by one. Every time I had a need, and he came through. Every time I was sick, and he healed me. Every time I asked, he answered. Not always with the answer I wanted, you know? Oftentimes our uncertainties deal with the risk of loss. We're afraid we're going to lose something. And we do. In this life, we're going to lose things, including our lives and some of the lives of our loved ones. But if I take those who know the Lord, the uncertainty goes away with the certainty that those loved ones have found their reward in his kingdom, and he has been faithful. How can we be so sure, even of the afterlife? Because of his track record in this life. You're not sure about tomorrow? How was it yesterday or the day before? Uncertain about the world to come? Be certain about the world you live in. He answers prayer. He comes alongside. He gives aid, and he loves his people. God bless you. But uncertainty often does really deal with the fear of a loss, and sometimes even the very fear of losing one's own life. We look at our political situation in the world today, and not just the U.S., but the world, not just Colorado, the world. And there's so much uncertainty. But there's one thing that is certain, the fact that he is God of the world. He is the Lord of the world. And all those who call upon his name shall be saved. Doesn't mean we're going to have an easy one. Just because I know Yeshua is my Messiah, my personal Lord, okay, because he's dear to my heart, doesn't mean I am going to slide through. Doesn't work like that. Sometimes I have to grow. And to grow, I have to struggle. But when the struggle's over and the reward comes, and it always comes, it always comes. When the struggle's over and the reward comes, I profited through that struggle. Profited. And a time will come when all of us will struggle and lose in the battle of life. But the reward always comes. For the sake of heaven, the reward always comes. With Yom Kippur just a few days away, but this is day 4 of the 10. With Yom Kippur just a few days away, we have to look at some things about ourselves that aren't so pretty, that aren't so nice. You know, I'm walking down the Arkansas River, and I got my bread, and I'm doing tashlit, and I'm just taking a piece. I'm a jerk, boom. I'm stubborn, boom. Selfish, boom. And I'm naming my sins and my flaws all at the same time during tashlit. And finally, I'm down to my last half a piece of bread. And I just sling it upon the water and say, Lord, take all of me, not just the bits and pieces. And I watched that bread as it slowly moved out into the mainstream. And once it got into the mainstream, it took off really fast. And I'm walking along watching it until it was going so fast I couldn't catch up with it. I think that's how it is when we come to the Lord with our uncertainties or with our doubts or with our sins or our fears, whatever. It starts moving away slow, and we see it. And at some point, God grabs it, takes hold of it, and removes it quickly and swiftly from that point on. Uncertainty. Thank God for uncertainty, because in that I can see his hand and his power and his strength. But it all hangs on the phrase, you are the Messiah, the Son of God. And upon that rock, that statement, he will build his community. The Bible says his church, his congregation, his parish, his synagogue. He will build his house on that rock. When that rock is based in, he is the Messiah. He is the Son of God. He is the Lord. Uncertainty. One thing I'm certain of, I'm going to suffer some uncertainty. That was kind of humor. So today is Thursday. This evening at 6 o'clock on Facebook or YouTube right here, okay, we're going to be doing a program. It's our last in the series of the Fall Feast. This is in Sukkot. We're going to talk about why it's important you should participate in Sukkot. And hopefully not just the one day, but the 7 days of Sukkot. And it is, when done, a great joy. Unfortunately, a lot of people, tell me, is it a burden upon you to be told, take the day off? Is it a burden upon you when it says, have fellowship? Is it a burden upon you that says, eat well? Is it a burden that says, I got news for you. Sukkot is 7 days of liberation. And that I'm certain of. Get it? Certain of? Okay. So, to learn more about Sukkot and what we need to do to prepare for it, then make sure at 6 o'clock you're watching right here on Facebook or YouTube. And don't forget to leave a comment on occasion. Let us know that you're out there. And if you have a prayer request, give us your prayer request. We can do that too. Now, if you're in the sound of my voice and you're thinking, well, I don't have a community, I don't have a Bible, I don't have anybody. If you, and I'm looking for something, yes. If you do not have a Bible study or congregation group or anything, and would like to see one start in your area, text me a name and a phone number. And I will get a hold of you and we'll see what we can do. But I can't do anything, we can't do anything until you are ready to do something. So, now, speaking of you doing something, hit the like button, hit the share button, put this thing on your page, hit the donate button. We've only had one person hit that donate button in this entire time. But I'm doing this for the sake of heaven, I don't get money out of this. This is what I do. I'm the rabbi. So, here's how it plays out. Share. Click. Like. Click. Put on your page. Click, click. Donate. Click. And we'll see if God doesn't build the kingdom through us. Now, don't forget, in your church, your parish, your synagogue, come alongside. Do something. Be active. Not just one of those on the pew, but one of those who are prepared to labor. And if the labor isn't glorious, it's all the more glorious. If you do the job that nobody wants, the dishes, the vacuum cleaner, okay, picking up the leaves in the yard, whatever. Okay? It's God's house, and all we do for him is glorious. So right now, I'm going to let you go and bid you adieu. And don't forget, 6 o'clock tonight, okay, for Sukkot. I'll talk to you then. God bless. Oh, tomorrow, Ask the Rabbi Friday. Don't forget. Same time, same place, same stations.